Now, in the recent past, the dairy farming sector in Uganda has continued to grow. This, of course, thanks to the unlimited demand of milk, but also dairy products. In this video, we head to Rushere, located in Chiruhura district, to meet up with a farmer who's going to share with us tips on successful dairy farming in Uganda. But before that, dairy farming in Uganda is a significant agricultural sector primarily driven by small-scale or smallholder farmers, those that are in the central and western regions of the country, contributing to national economic growth, food security, and rural livelihoods. Now, while production has grown significantly, challenges remain, including low productivity per cow, limited processing capacity, and inconsistent milk quality, though in the recent past still, there's been potential for increased value addition through processing and export. So let's head over to Rushere. So finally, here we are. We have reached Tomosi's farm located here in Rushere, owned by Mr. Odrick Ravogo, and we're going to have a conversation about cattle keeping, among many other things. So please come with me. Let's go and see what happens at Tomosi's farm. But first, we have to dip. This is a dipping area of Chafu Wona. Every disease, we leave it here before we actually enter the gate. So come with me. And finally, here we've met the farmer. You know, when you see him in Kampala, you can't imagine or have an idea that he actually does some farming at his farm, located about, like I told you, 200 and so many other kilometers away from the capital city of Kampala, Uganda, in a place called Rushere. Thank you, sir, for actually giving us an opportunity to talk about the other section of your farm, which is the dairy farming. Before we even talk about, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to remind you that Mr. Odrick Ravogo did start a radio show and is going to be airing on different radio stations, as you can see them on the screen. And the dates, of course, in the intervals with which they will be airing will be shared with you. So please do check out his social media platforms at Odrick Ravogo. What exactly inspired you to start this farm?
So this whole area, the area where you are, all the way from Uganda, Kazo, Sembabule, Gomba, it's been stepped on by cows for 1,000 years. When you hear the battles between Buganda, Ankole, Bunyoro, Ankole, this was the epicenter. On this land we have wells of the Bunyoro invasion around 1830, just on the other side of my brother's side of the land. So cultural knowledge is embedded. You know how to raise cows when you are young, and how to grow coffee, and how to tend a banana plantation. It doesn't matter, they can wake you up at 2 a.m. and you know what to do. So here we settled 1963, November. And we had the long-horned Ankole cows, the ones they call in Uganda, of Mayembe.
Yes.
In Mbale they say, Zita Ayaya, that they are going all over and they come and you milk. And so we raised here herds of Ankole cows, less productivity, but also at a time when the facilities infrastructure was very bad. So when I was a young boy, we would drive these cows 5 kilometers away for dipping every Saturday. There was common dipping infrastructure, which was good because you would control tick. Now that got destroyed mid to end 70s. And then in the 80s, we started to, it was very insecure here, but we started to improve the breed. The breed improvement started from Barara, not far from here. There's an old man who is now 90 or 100.
Wow.
Mzee Chamanyanga, they are the first ones who started to change.
These type of breeds?
Yes, because they also had worked as stockmen in the Mbarara stock farm. There's another old man who is now 89 in Ushenyi, I have taken cows from him. Mzee Kekurutso, he took the first imported cows in 1968. So that knowledge, for me, when I finished school, where you entered the land, added a small portion of land, and started putting together, improving what I found. In 2003, when we had our firstborn, we began changing from Ankole cows to this breed.
Okay.
And this breed is Frisian.
The Frisian breed.
It's the most common in the last 60 years in Uganda, and I should say in many parts of Africa for milk. They are heavy size, they eat a lot, but as you can see, they move a lot, so they lose milk. And
because a lot of energy is converted into the movement and energy.
Correct.
Instead of focusing on milk production.
So a lot of these now are 15 liters all the way up to 20. But I have seen cows of 45 liters, which are treated differently. So this Frisian, in 2010, I went with my wife to Namibia. We introduced another breed called Simmental, Lakeview. It didn't do very well. Now, we had a manager, South African manager, he introduced Jersey. You'll see some small jerseys. Now, tomorrow, we decided, you know what? Let's just have a standard operating procedure. We're taking across 10 cows as a sample, feed them for 6 months, ensure that they
on
have
a specific diet.
Yes, specific diet, water, very limited movement. We will take the lowest yielder and see how far we can pull it up. And then I have asked the Commissioner for Agriculture to visit us once we've done that experiment, and now we professionalize a proper demo experiment for those who have lots of land but are not increasing milk.
Okay.
So two things that are important. Nobody teaches people here farming. It's embedded knowledge. The farm cannot be just converted to real estate or a hotel, because this is my life. This is all I know. This is where I was raised. This is where I'm raising my children. So farming is commercial, but also principle, that there is culture, food, language embedded in the behavior of things I did when I was growing up. I had a wonderful father who did this and crops. Many people here didn't have that advantage. He knew how to rear animals, but also do crops
as well.
Fruits and vegetables. And there are some people who didn't think that's a big deal, but now we realize how important it is. The second thing beyond culture is that farms like this that have more than 100 acres are underutilized. Really sitting on an asset and it produces 10%,
Of what
why
it's
don't you
supposed
sell
to.
the asset or convert it to full use? So this land now we are doing 130 acres of silage, grown maize. We want to increase it to 200.
Okay.
So that we convert a unit per acre and the unit of production in an animal and calculate how much money we make. If it doesn't make sense, we keep improving.
Until the time it will make
Yeah.
sense.
So for me, the experiment we are now taking requires a lab, because now you must measure, and it's a bit.
To quantify everything.
I'm ashamed that I'm talking about measurement when I've done this for 30 years. But because cultural knowledge, even to sell some of the cows, has been an issue.
You don't know
Because-
how much you've invested.
Yes, I can tell you this cow came from this grandmother, all that we are now shifting.
Okay.
We're doing very well with the breed. We have good management, but we are now called upon to convert this land and look at the investment into production, and then look at the investment we make and produce at least by 2027 5,000 liters for the factory, you will see, so that our neighbors can also take example from here.
Amazing. Before we go into the other question, which is very important. Now, a lot of people in government and also in the private sector and the general population as well want to know, if I want to start up a dairy cattle farm, what are the key steps that one needs to take? I think let's start from there.
So there is a bit of confusion that you need land to start a dairy farm. No, you need knowledge. If you take an acre of land, and simply put a good shed and water troughs and feeding facility, and you put a good breed, an acre, you should get a cow that gives you 30 liters. And if you milk 30 cows, you calculate how much you can make.
That's about 300 plus.
Now, you think of if you're doing that closer to Kampala and PG, Mukono, Seta, you know this Busiro area, Chadondo. A liter there is 1,500 shillings. Here, the highest I can go is 800, 900. Now, so what you need is knowledge. And the knowledge is, if you take the back of your house, you put a good shed, you put a good breed, you feed it well, you look after, you should sit in a place where you are milking a cow and it is as good as your sitting room. Because a cow is an animal that smells dirt, that we don't care about those things now because of numbers. But when you have fewer animals, and for many young graduates, their lands, you could find half an acre. I even used an acre, half an acre. We are selling some of those portions of land to buy motorbikes. But motorbike doesn't last. That land, you can generate 300 liters easily with 30 cows, each giving you 20 to 30 liters. So you need knowledge of the breed, of the feed. You need a small piece of land, but mostly you need a heart committed to what you're doing. It can't be pastime. It can't be, because the cows are like you. They bleed, they cry, they suffer from hunger. It can't be trophies for looking at, no, it has to be an income generating activity.
What makes business sense when it comes to dairy farming?
So
in terms
I just
of numbers,
stopped at primary. If you're doing 100 liters, you could choose to convert that into some yogurt and sell higher. Yogurt, you don't need plastic cups. You need a plastic pouch. If you go to our supermarkets now, too many small brands coming from farms. Okay? You could add value right there by making yogurt. But you could also take off the cream and make ghee. So Uganda exports ghee to Ethiopia, to India, to the Middle East. The Arab world uses ghee in cooking in many, many ways. So you could add a little value. I'm talking about just domestic market at the farm. Now, the other revenue stream is that when they produce effluent, that effluent you can make biocereal. Biocereal is used as a good fertilizer that raises vegetables. You can also use biogas, so you don't have to use UEDCL if you're a startup young person. Many revenue streams, but really you have to be committed. And don't start with 30 cows. Start with 2.
What number of cows makes sense for a business on a business perspective?
If you start with 2 cows, each giving you 20 liters, that's 40 liters. So you take 5 liters for your home consumption, sell 35, and add a third, and a fourth. So what's in young people's mind is that everything starts big. Everything starts with mwina amataka mangi, mwina amayumba. No, by accident or by blessing, I found a father who left us 7 of us with land. We divided it, but I kept adding.
From your own sweat as well?
These animals, we just sold, how many animals, Chris? 23. We just sold 23 animals. That's why you see us now clearing the land, expanding, digging. But you are able to sell 23 after 40 years, 30 years, 20 years of continued investment. So start with 2 cows I should even dare say one cow of 20 liters, sell 15 liters, use 5 at home. That one cow will teach you is a second. She can also produce. You do artificial insemination, she produces. You have 2, you have 3, you have 4. Be patient, search for knowledge, commit your heart to doing it right.
What's your current total population of cattle here?
So culturally, we don't name the numbers of cows we have.
Oh, okay. That's prohibited.
That's what we do because it's in us. Because we think that if you talk about your animals, you're bragging. Especially my parents, were very humble people. You let God talk, you do your work. So this land we have could do easily up to 1,000 cows, milking cows. But cows that are not kutayaya, that are not going all over
the place looking
you
for
contain
feed.
them. This is the experiment that is starting tomorrow.
Okay.
You can do 1,000 cows. If I make 20 liters, let me be conservative, and I milk 1,000 cows, how much is that?
1,000 cows, first of all, 10 is 200, 100 is 2,000. That's about 20,000 liters of milk per day.
So 20,000 liters of milk at 20 is such a huge operation in food. It's a huge operation in medical care.
Sure.
It's a huge operation in labor. That's why we're starting with 10. We're starting with 10 next week. Let's see how that works. We add another 10.
Okay.
Kamu
As you
kamu gwe
increase-
Muganda, as they say in Uganda. Now, so the issues which I face at my level really are to do with disease control from neighborhoods that does not apply the same standard like me.
Like vaccination, treating,
Yes.
and controlling,
Now-
and putting biosecurity in place.
Absolutely. Biosafety measures that I can do here, and I shouldn't really complain. I should do them regardless. But something only makes sense and it is durable if many more of us do it. You can't remain an island. So these 10 cows will be followed by a lab so that the neighbors, we can check diseases, we can test milk before it goes to the factory. Second issue we face here is how to ensure that all of us, when it's dry, can have food and keep consistent supply to the secondary level processing. That's to do with feeds and irrigation. That's the next issue. Now, I can do so much as a person, but if I have to own the tractors, I have to own a combine harvester, what kind of investment is that for one farm? But if they are all at the sub-county and we rent them and there is good management, I use them for a week, the cost goes lower, plus we can now force, in quotes, governments to provide more incentives because of production. I think I can summarize all these problems to do with organization. They are all solvable, but organization requires leadership. Few of us want to burn our midnight candle for another. We want to do it our way, and perhaps if many more of us do it our way and it's the right way, but that's organic growth. Takes a lot of time. A bit of enforcement on organization and leadership to get what matters for all of us to be done with the same template.
One of the reasons as to why some farmers claim they can't afford to do dairy farming is because one cow is quite expensive in their own terms. How can we navigate this? One, as a farmer who has been doing it, but also as a policy maker, as somebody who sits or chairs actually the presidential advisory on export and industries. How can we go about
What is
that?
the cost of planting an acre of coffee? An acre of coffee is 250 or 400. I think about 450 plantlets. If you are starting with an acre of coffee, it is much more than 2 million shillings. What is the cost of a pond to get good water, aerated, to get good fish? More than 5 million shillings. What's the cost of this cow?
About maybe
1.52 million. You can buy it and plan where you put it. The beauty with animals is that if she's producing, you are earning daily. Coffee, which you saw, we are now 13 months, we're about 13, 15 months.
And it's not a daily thing.
And we are waiting to harvest, it's not a daily thing.
It's a seasonal.
So it depends on the choices you make. If you are, for me, if I have an acre of land around Kampala, I convert 40 decimals to 10 cows a shed, and I can sell milk at 1,500 shillings. For me here, I have to transport. In Kampala, you can use cell phone and delivery. It's a different kind of, and many of us are flocking to the cities where the needs are many and the supply is limited. So a bit of kichwa, a bit of thinking on when I enter dairy, I have figured out the market and the product, the rate of return, Chibaro, the president likes to call it. The internal rate of return on this investment, I can make money when I hit 20 cows. And if I hit 5 cows, I can take a loan because I have daily income. Please remember something that gives you food every day and income is not anywhere compared to where you wait for a month to be paid.
The question on poor or fake, are they called acaricides or medicines or drugs on the market, has been a matter of debate for various years as we speak. Do you face the same?
Of course, we...
And if you do, how are we going to handle that? Or what needs to be done?
There were 2 issues. I think there are 2 issues to resolve the question of acaricides. First, effective regulation. What comes in the country should supplement what we produce. But to allow certificates of import without seeing our capacity, but also without very good research that traces the ticks and pests and know that this is how this should be done, is a bit of a problem. Now, the way to solve that is what we are trying to do, a food safety authority, which scrutinizes chemicals that go in food at a primary production level, veterinary medicine, veterinary equipment. I am hoping that that foods IGG or foods ombudsman would resolve issues of the market and trigger us to abide to a standard, because the market is an incentive, is an incentivizer. The second one is education for farmers, because when I cannot control ticks and I don't see any regulation or enforcement, I now take my own way. I pick a particular product, I mix it because I have heard. Remember, we are still a bit of peasant societies with face-to-face. That's why telephone is used here for voice and less for data, because we talk. If I see that, you mixed something in your farm and the ticks died, I come and do it. But when I do that, I really have no idea about the consequences.
That it would bring.
Yes, it produces other problems, it spreads. So farmer education is critical, regulation and enforcement critical. Once we do those 2 things, the farmer knows the price is good when I do a good thing. Right now, whether I do a bad or good thing, I get the same incentive on the market. That's a bit of a problem. You will see at the factory, we chase bad milk. Your milk has water, sorry. Your milk stayed overnight, sorry. As soon as it leaves our factory, it has a market. So what you've done there, you've incentivized bad behavior, and the good ones also just don't grow. But these are problems of growth. We were not here 10 years ago. That's why I said now new thinking, new application on where do we take these sectors, where do we take the country, where do we take agriculture. If America is only 2% of agriculture producing an overload of food, and we are 70%, and we don't have much food, what is that? How do we answer that? More processing, more refrigeration, better transport, better storage, but start with primary production, awareness, enforcement, so that we have a good crop.
How much of dairy do we need or consume as a country in a day and in a year?
Very little, very little. I think we consume around 300 to 400 million a year. That consumption is central. A lot of Kampala, Jinja, Entebbe, Mukono. You hit the north and northeast, Tororo, the cost of a liter is 1,500.
Why are people not consuming milk?
Many issues, but I suspect we have not promoted milk drinking in schools. We have big UPE and USE, but we've not really promoted milk as a full food.
Okay.
President Moi did this in the 90s and changed Kenyan consumption. Every family in Kenya drinks milk, every school, but it was done 40 years ago. Here we wanted free primary education, but to let parents provide food. And that has affected not just milk, grains, confectionaries that would be yogurts, meats that are roasted and packed. It is because we have not promoted it over the last 40 years. So that's one issue. The second one is transportation from one point of the country to another. Electricity in one location to refrigerate. These are still issues. There is more production in the center and west. There is less to zero milk in other parts of the country. Yeah.
Okay.
So more electricity we are producing, more distribution, better infrastructure, now online distribution. I know a friend of mine who has a farm in Chanja. He just produces 300 liters and he gets orders on telephone and paid by mobile money. And so in between he has his ecosystem. He delivers to a house that has paid. These little technological changes will allow distribution and more consumption.
Perfect. Before we go and look at the production or the production area for the dairy section, I have one last question for Mr. Audrey Krabogo. What is the future of your dairy cattle farm, the section for dairy? What's the future of it?
So if we take where we started from, we want to completely transform primary production so that there is full utilization of the assets, land, labor, capital. This is very important for every commercial farmer to do. Idle capital is wasted. Once, and this is the experiment we are starting on Monday. The second level, the future of the farm, is how much of the 50,000 liters we make at the factory every day can this farm put. So our target is 20,000 liters, which is not a huge percentage. The community can supply the balance, plus a double shift at the factory will give us 100,000 liters. So how much I can send for processing will improve this farm tremendously.
Okay.
But the future of all of us, coffee, cotton, milk, is that the secondary level processing is cheaper with transportation, refrigeration, electricity, water, cheaper for us to do whatever we want to do within our neighborhoods. So remember the stories you're saying of Mbale and Tungamo. The more plants you have there, supplied by the local farmers, the better for a country, the better for processing.
Okay.
Now, finally, I am assuming my grandchildren and even my children, their interest may not be in primary. They are educated, they have done mathematics, they have done science, they have done marketing. Those children will be interested in brand, design, packaging, attacking more markets. That for me is the vision for every farmer. My father left me with these 40 acres. Now we've expanded the land and production. I leave them with heavy capacity on processing, and they now take tertiary. But you could combine the three.
And have the primary, tertiary, and secondary.
Yes, if you lower the cost of production at farms and at processing level, the other one is cheaper, distribution is cheaper.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's end here for this particular session, but please do watch the next session because we're going to talk more about licensing. How do you start a dairy production plant? From his experience, this is the conversation But if you're new here, please ensure that you subscribe. My name is Dennis Duke Onyala. See you in our next video talking about the milk
The
production.
processing. Yeah.
Yes.